Hello dear students, welcome to Devika's Commerce and Management Academy. Portfolio management, expected return, expected risk. Two things we have seen. Today's problem is related to the expected return and risk also. Expected return and risk as per the portfolio. Both together we are going to work out one problem which is based on the probability. Expected risk is there, expected return is there, and also risk is there expected, but at the same time probability is also given for so and so returns. If the probability is this much, what would be the return, what would be the risk, that we are going to calculate. Simple problem, nothing to worry, only we need to understand the concept. The problem is given here. The returns for L and M stocks and probability is given here. Returns of L and M, both the stocks returns are given and also probability. State of nature, probability occurrence, probability, how much probability is there? 0.1, 0.4, 0.4, 0.1. Probability is given. And annual return, how much will be the return? For stock L and stock M, percentage wise, minus 10%, for 5%, 4%, like this. Both the returns are given. Okay, percentage. Now what they are expecting us to calculate, first thing is expected returns for L and M. First problem we have done expected returns. That expected returns you are going to calculate. Second one, risk for L and M. Risk for L and M means calculation of standard deviation. I told you in the last class. Whenever they are asking us to calculate the risk means standard deviation, you have to calculate. And covariance between the L and M, this also we have done in the last class, covariance. Okay, covariance we are going to calculate, but remember probability is also with us. First let's focus on the expected return for L and M. Kept a heading calculation of expected returns for L and M. Calculation, if I have to do it will take lots of time, so I have done the problem. I'll explain it. Simple calculations. Expected returns for L and M. For this I have drawn table. One is probability I have written as it is, annual returns. Expected returns of L. This is up to L. Probability as it is, annual returns as it is. Expected returns. How do you get expected returns? If you multiply probability and annual returns, you will get the expected returns only. Right? So expected returns are after multiplying these two. This is multiplication of these two will be expected returns. 0.1 into minus 10, minus 1.0. 0.4 into 5, 2. Like you got expected returns of L. In the same way for expected returns for M also. Probability same. I did not draw once again. This is common for whether L or M. Probability as it is. Annual returns, which is given already as it is, written over there. Now expected returns of M means probability into M. So you will get expected returns. Probability into returns. Okay. So 0.1 into 6. 0.06, 0.4 into minus 8, minus 3.2. Like you got the expected returns. This is over. Simple. Expected returns means that nothing but probability into annual returns. This both together you got expected returns. In the same way for M also, probability into returns, that is probability into returns, you got expected returns. This is very simple. Now let's focus on the second one, risk for L and M. Risk for L and M means always you have to calculate standard deviation. For calculation of standard deviation both for L and M, separate tables I have drawn. Calculation of standard deviation of returns for L. For L, columns returns as it is, I am writing here, returns are here, this one as it is. Okay, and D square we have to calculate. Standard deviation formula is sigma PD square. P means probability. If probability was not there, then what would be the formula? root of sigma d square by n, as we have done in the last class. Here we got probability. That is the reason formula is changing into root of sigma d square by n, rather than that root of sigma p d square by n. P only added to the original formula. D square is needed. So returns I have written, and D square will calculate. D means returns minus expected returns. In the previous problem, average returns we have taken. Here average returns are not there, but expected returns are there. Returns are this one. Expected return is how much? 1.8. For L. For L, expected return is 1.8. I'll write here. Expected return is, we got already 1.8. Okay, 1.8. Now how do you get? Minus 10 minus 1.8. 11.8. 5 minus 1.8, 3.2. Like this you got D. Once if you get the D square. D square minus 11.8 into minus 11.8. 139.24. 3.2 into 3.4, 10.24. Like this you got the D square. Once if you get the D square, I am writing here probability. Because as per the formula we need PD square. PD square. So P into D square, another column, PD square. If you get PD square all the numbers, then total up you are getting 29.564. Once if you get, write it in the formula. Standard deviation for L is equal to root of sigma PD square by N. PD is here, we got 29.564 divided by N. N is number of observations 4. So if you multiply, you got 7.39, root of 7.39. If you remove the root, you are getting answer of 2.72 standard deviation for L. In the same way, standard deviation for M. This is calculation of standard deviation of returns for M. Same columns. Returns D square, probability PD square. Returns, this one as it is written. D means R minus expected returns. R is this one. Expected returns are minus 2.7. I'll write here. For this, expected returns are minus 2.7. This one. Now let's see the first one. 6 minus 2.7. 2 minus comes to plus. So this is minus 8.7. Minus 8 minus 2.7. So you got minus 5.3. So like you got the D. Once if you get the D square is very easy. Okay, squaring minus 8.7 into minus 8.7, 75.69, like this you have done the D square. After that, as usual, P probability we have written. As per the formula we need PD square. So P into D square, multiply 75.69 into 1. 7.569. In the same way, both multiplication we have done PD square. PD square total is required because as per the formula we need PD square total. This total is 31.610. So write the formula. Standard deviation for M. So root of sigma PD square by N. PD square is 31.610 by N. N is 4, number of observations. If we divide this, you are getting root of 7.90. If you remove the root, you are getting 2.81. This is the standard deviation of M. For L, 2.72. Am I clear? You got this one. First one is over, second one is over. Now let's focus on the covariance between the L and M. Covariance, what is the formula? Formula is sigma of PDL PDM by N. PDL into PDM by N. So as per that formula, I have drawn a table. DL percentage. DL means nothing but this one. Deviations of L. In the same way, DM. Deviations of M. This one. As it is DL, DM. What else we need? We need to multiply both. DL, DM means minus 11.8 into minus 8.7. Multiplication we have done. After that, writing the probability. If probability was not there, the problem would have done up to here only. Probability is given to us. We have drawn one more column for probability. Now what we do, probability into DLDM, P into DLDM, both multiplied, 1 or 2.66 into 0.1, 10.266, like multiplied, and you got P DLDM. Once if this is over, then apply it in the formula. Covariance of L and M. P sigma P DLDM. Earlier we used to write DLDM only, but now here probability we got, so adding P. Sigma P DLDM by N. So this is 13.792 divided by N. N is number of observations 4. So altogether covariance is 3.448. In the same fashion, if it was asked correlation of L and M also, we could have done like previous problem. Correlation of L and M means formula is covariance of L and M, means the same answer, divided by standard deviation of L, standard deviation of M. We would have done that also. Right now anyhow they are asking us 3 we have calculated. Simple, nothing is there. Problem is same, only the thing is we got the probability, and important thing is that they are also asking us to calculate the expected returns. Expected returns means nothing but probability and this multiplied together, you got expected returns. In the same way, probability and average returns of M multiplied, you got expected returns. These are the two major differences between the previous problem and this problem. Concept is same, formulas also same, probability is included. Am I clear this problem? We'll focus more problem. Portfolio management, feeling easy? Yes, nothing is tough. Only the thing is proper way of understanding and practice. Leaving the fear. This is important. Stay connected and don't forget to share these videos. Take the screenshot. See you in the next video. Good luck.